And switching over to our COVID coverage, today Monterey County is reporting 67 people are hospitalized with COVID-19. That's an increase of 19 from last week. Santa Cruz County is showing 32 people are hospitalized. That's 12 more than last week. And San Benito County has just one additional COVID patient in the hospital from last week. That county's total is 3 now. And tonight in Santa Cruz, the diagnostic lab at UC Santa Cruz is reaching new heights in its ability to process COVID-19 tests. KION's Drew Andre takes an inside look at that lab at UC Santa Cruz and what its improvements mean for the school and Santa Cruz community as a whole.
As the number of COVID-19 cases have increased in our area, so is the capacity of the lab here at UC Santa Cruz. Back in August, the lab was given $800,000 in CARES Act funding, and since then, it's taken off.
The idea of pumping out test results for hundreds of people a day was just a pipe dream in April for Michael Stone and his team of scientists at UC Santa Cruz.
It would be hard to really wrap our heads around the idea of doing 1,000 tests a day, and yet here we are doing it really without straining.
The highly automated lab now processes 800 to 1,000 COVID tests a day. About 200 of those come from various testing sites around Santa Cruz County.
There are no other testing labs locally, and the testing labs that we do have available to our county residents all have a turnaround time in the neighborhood of 1 week. And so we're the only ones that have been able to provide a turnaround time in the neighborhood of about 24 hours or so.
But the biggest undertaking for the lab is the weekly asymptomatic surveillance testing program for the several thousand students living on or near campus. Twice a week, students show up at a kiosk like this and self-swab. Starting next quarter, pool testing will begin, drastically increasing how many people can be tested. As many as 10 samples will be pooled into one test.
If it's a negative pool, then those samples are reported as negative to those individuals. If it's a positive pool, then there's a secondary test that occurs where the 10 children's samples that go into that parent pool, those are then tested individually.
And this could open the door for more students returning to campus.
In theory, if we were doing all asymptomatic testing with those 1,000 tests, we could test, maybe 9,000 or 10,000 people a day.
By doing this for our campus community, we're not just serving UCSC, but we're also the several thousand, I think it's as many as 5,000 students who are here in the community are being surveilled on a regular basis.
Now, if there is an even bigger spike of cases in our area, the lab does have surge capacity to process even more tests if that were to become necessary. Reporting at UC Santa Cruz, I'm Drew Andre, KION News, Channel 546.